The Calvorian Empire had conquered 17 star systems in the past decade. Their fleets were unmatched, their tactics legendary, their confidence absolute. When they arrived at Earth, they expected the usual pattern: orbital bombardment, planetary surrender, integration into the Empire. Instead, they received a transmission from something called the United States Navy. Admiral Krex studied the message with amusement. The humans wanted to negotiate. They proposed a naval engagement, traditional surface warfare on Earth's oceans. If humanity won, the Calvorians would withdraw. If the Calvorians won, Earth would surrender without resistance. They want to fight on water, Krex told his officers, barely containing his laughter. Primitive surface vessels. No shields, no energy weapons, just kinetic projectiles and combustion engines. His tactical officer pulled up Earth's records. "Sir, there's a notation here from the progenitor archives. Something about human naval." "The progenitors left warnings about everything," Krex interrupted. "Humans are merchants and talkers. We'll humor their little water battle, crush them, and move on." 3 days later, the Calvorian fleet descended to Earth's Pacific Ocean. They'd converted atmospheric fighters to naval configuration, superior technology, faster speeds, better weapons. 40 vessels against whatever antiquated boats the humans could muster. The fog lifted at dawn. Krex stared at his display, confusion replacing confidence. The human fleet wasn't primitive. Massive gray vessels bristled with weapons he'd initially dismissed as archaic, but there were so many of them. Carriers launching aircraft, destroyers cutting through waves, submarines surfacing like metal leviathans. And behind them all, they're calling it a carrier strike group, sir. That central vessel launches atmospheric fighters. Hundreds of them. "Begin attack," Krex ordered. What followed wasn't a battle. It was a lesson in why the progenitors had left warnings. The humans didn't just fight on water. They'd mastered it. Centuries of doctrine, thousands of years of naval warfare, compressed into terrifying efficiency. Their aircraft swarmed like insects. Their missiles tracked with impossible precision. Their submarines struck from depths the Calvorian sensors couldn't penetrate. But worse than their technology was their coordination. Every ship moved as part of a greater whole, executing maneuvers that spoke of institutional knowledge passed down through generations. They didn't fight like warriors. They fought like an organism that had evolved specifically to dominate Earth's oceans. Krex's flagship took 3 missiles amidships. His screens showed Calvorian vessels burning, sinking, destroyed by an enemy that should have been technologically inferior. "Sir, we need to retreat." Krex pulled up the progenitor archives with shaking hands, searching for the entry his officer had mentioned. There, buried in ancient warnings. Humanity rules 70% of their planet, the part covered in water. They have fought wars on it for 10,000 years. Their naval traditions are unbroken, their expertise absolute. On land or in space, humanity can be challenged. On water, they are gods. Never fight them at sea. The battle lasted 6 hours. The Calvorian fleet lasted 4. Krex surrendered from a life pod, watching the USS Gerald R. Ford pass by, a vessel so massive it seemed to defy physics, launching aircraft that had systematically dismantled his entire fleet. A human voice crackled over his emergency radio. "Calvorian vessels, this is Admiral Richards, U.S. Navy. You picked the wrong battlefield. The sea isn't just our territory. It's where we learned everything we know about war. You're welcome to try again in space if you want. But down here," a pause, "down here we're undefeated in 250 years, and we plan to keep it that way." The Calvorian Empire withdrew from Earth's system that same day. In their military academies, a new doctrine was added to required reading. The progenitors were right. Humanity had evolved on a water world, built their civilizations on coastlines, fought their greatest wars on ocean surfaces. They turned naval warfare into an art form so refined that challenging them on water wasn't just foolish, it was suicide. Admiral Krex spent his remaining years teaching one lesson to every new officer: the humans will smile and negotiate about anything, but never, ever Challenge them where their ancestors spilled blood for 10,000 years. Especially if that place is